Hey everybody, welcome back. So we are filming a memory keeping video for the week of May 13th through the 19th, which included my birthday, which was on the Tuesday of this week. So to celebrate, I decided to use this Girls Night Out kit from Cinderella paper. She has since reformatted this kit and it is currently available on her Etsy shop, but this is the older version that I bought, I think last year. And I was originally saving it for I don't know, an event, and it doesn't really 100% match this week, but I decided the event is I turned 32, we're gonna celebrate it, okay? So we got that kit, love the bold colors of that, and then I've got a little bit of Plan a Hannah and Plan With Me stickers foil in a couple of different colors to go along with that. So really, especially with the two bar scenes in this kit, this matches more of what I did last week with going out to dinner with my siblings and also my husband. But I really wanted to use that other kit for Mother's Day. So we just kept this week with this kit because this was when my actual birthday was. My husband surprised me with a bottle of champagne and a card on Tuesday night and everything. And we always go out on most of the time, we go out on Friday nights for a date night, unless we're just feeling like ordering takeout. Basically, Fridays are no cook in the house type of days for us. That's our allowance for the week. So we did go out on Friday night to our local brewery, and the treat that night was splurging on the Bavarian pretzel in addition to our entrees. And the pretzel was very good. It was just expensive, so can't do that all the time in addition to getting a burger there and a beer. So the pretzel was the last hurrah for my birthday celebrations. I was grading this week, but actually my students were turning in their final projects on the Thursday of this week, so I was able to take my birthday off of work because I had graded everything that had been turned in before finals week. So that was nice. I think I also, actually Tuesday was the only day I really took off this week, and kind of Thursday, but I had to keep an eye on my email and everything for all the last minute stuff that comes in. So yeah, Tuesday, my birthday, was really the day that I got to take off, which was nice. I remember when I worked my first full-time job out of college at the newspaper, our birthday was officially one of our allowed holidays out of the whole year. So I usually would end up taking off a different day just because it was just easier to schedule. So May was always nice because I got my birthday, and then you could use that within 2 weeks of your birthday. So I think one year I extended my Memorial Day weekend or something like that. I don't remember. Anywho, so in my mind, my birthday is a holiday. It's just not officially at my current job. I feel like most places should do that though. That would be nice. But that was the one benefit of that newspaper job, was that they gave you your birthday as a holiday. Anyway, enough talk about that. I did do, I think, 3 extenders this day, so just to use more of the full boxes and also just give everything some breathing room to be in the weekly plans. So there is going to be an extender on Monday, Friday, and then Sunday as well. And I just have these cute paper clips to hold down my extenders, just put a little bit of weight on them so that they stay closed. As for everything else this week, so Monday was mostly just a regular day. I did laundry, I worked out. It was my younger nephew's 13th birthday, so it was his golden birthday this year, as they call it. My golden birthday, of course, was when I was 14. Don't remember it being that great. In fact, it wasn't. I think my birthday was on Mother's Day that year too, so I think my dad was out of town. I'm gonna be real, visiting his mom. But yeah, wasn't feeling great on Monday. I don't really remember 100% why. All of the lead up to Clover's last vet appointment on the 20th of May was kind of stressing me out, and I was just worried about stopping medication with her. So I wasn't in a great mood on a Monday. Tuesday was my birthday. I mostly just spent it alone at home with my cats because my husband, of course, had to work. We did not find this out until a few days later, but my husband's cousin's daughter was actually born on my birthday, so that was kind of fun. We just found out a few days later when she put out the announcement. So I basically just chilled at home with the cats that day. and I decided to watch the Eras Tour movie on Disney Plus because we had gone to see it in theaters back in November, my husband and I. But I had heard there was like an extended version on Disney Plus, and I am glad that I watched it because the Speak Now section actually had more than one song. Like in the theaters, if you didn't go to see the one in theaters, it was literally just Enchanted, just one song from the Speak Now album, and that was very jarring and confusing while watching it. But yeah, the Disney Plus version also has Long Live, which is like, I love that song from that album, so I'm glad that I watched it. And then after, I was like doing other stuff. I wasn't like just watching the Eras Tour because, you know, it's like 3.5 hours or whatever. After that, Disney Plus started automatically playing the folklore documentary or like live sessions. I forget what the name of it is. It's when she filmed it in like the cabin with her friends, well, her colleagues basically. And I was like, how come nobody told me that this existed? Because Folklore is probably my favorite album from her, from Taylor Swift. So I watched that, got sucked down that rabbit hole, really enjoyed it. I like almost every song on Folklore, so we love that for me, for my birthday. And then my husband came home from work and he wrote me a card and he surprised me with a bottle of champagne. So we kept the party from the last week going on a Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday, I did have to do some work because that was when my office hours were normally scheduled. But there wasn't really much to grade at this point because my students were still working on things. I don't grade anything until after the due date. I've had some students be like, oh, have you read my thing yet? And I'm like, no, because it's not due for like 2 more days. Like, and I give multiple attempts on assignments in case they upload the wrong thing. So I'm like, no, I'm not reading it until after the due date. Unless you like have a question about it, then I'll answer it. But no, I'm not grading it before the due date. I don't think that's actually fair. So it's just funny what students think I do. Anyway, I know it's based on like past experiences with other professors and teachers, but it's interesting to see what people think that I will do. Then Thursday, not a lot going on, really just like looking for work. And Clover, we finally got her an ID tag to put on her collar. She has been running around naked for like most of her life. Like whenever we do put her collar on her, she's just like, meh. But we're trying to get her used to that just a little bit more. Our cats are indoor only cats, like Evie especially. She used to live on the streets, I'm pretty sure, and she's over it. She's like, I'm never going back out there. And then Clover, I'm assuming, has been indoors entirely. So she might want to go outside, but like she doesn't seem that interested in it. But we just keep collars on our cats in case they get out or someone, you know, God forbid, breaks in or something happens or the landlord comes in and accidentally lets them out, which I hope she would not do because that would suck. Or if there's an emergency like a fire or something. So we keep collars on them for situations like that, even though they don't wander around outside. But yeah, we finally got her an ID tag this day. They're microchipped too, by the way, because at least here, like they just automatically microchip every like shelter animal. So they got that. You know, the 5G, I'm joking. They don't actually have 5G. So yes, and we have that up. We updated those microchips too when we moved because it's important to keep track of that. And then Friday, I had a lot of grading to do before I went out of town with Clover for her appointment. And like I said, we went to that brewery and had like a little more of a special date night because I wanted to get that pretzel for my birthday. And then I think I got, yeah, the regular burger too, which I like. Then Saturday, I spent packing. I was having some anxiety and was up like super early. I was just really like sad and anxious this day because I was taking Clover to her last appointment, which theoretically should be a good thing, but I was just nervous. And then Sunday, I didn't fly out until like the early evening, especially because I had a 1-hour flight delay. But I was just really stressed out that day and had really bad turbulence on the flight into Denver. There were thunderstorms and hail around Denver around this time, and it was a very bumpy ride down, and I was extra anxious because I'm like, Clover is underneath my feet and probably really stressed out, and this is like the worst flight I've been on, and I feel terrible that I have her here. But yeah, we made it to Denver in one piece, and got in the rental car, drove over to the hotel, and the guy over there was super nice and waived the pet fee because he like asked. Sometimes they've asked and sometimes they haven't, depending on the hotel I'm staying at and depending on who's working that night. They'll ask like what brings me to town, and I'll tell them, oh, she has to go to the vet tomorrow. And sometimes they've waived pet fees and sometimes they haven't, and I guess it probably just depends on their mood that day or who's working that day. I have no problem paying the pet fee. So, but I appreciate it, of course, when they're sympathetic and waive it for me, because the reason I'm staying at their hotel and patronizing their business is literally because they're close to the vet hospital. So that was nice. I think I went to bed like super late on Sunday night because there's obviously a time change between here and Denver. And so I'm like never tired when I get there, or never sleepy anyway. I used a little bit of foil this week, so I used an Avril Lavigne quote in an Advent foil color from Plannahannah. Like it's one that was just in her Advent or freebies. So I used that on the sidebar and as an underlay on Tuesday because that was my birthday. And then I used these confetti overlays from Plannahannah in, I think it's called Pixie Gold. And then I used a couple of Plan With Me stickers, Taylor Swift Midnights overlays in sparkly gold, I think is what she calls it. It's basically the same as Pixie Gold. So I used the You're On Your Own Kid, You Always Have Been with the flowers on Tuesday. It's covered up right now. I apologize. And then I used Lately I've Been Dressing for Revenge on Thursday, which doesn't really describe my life, but maybe it does. I don't know. I've been in a whole mood lately at the world, so maybe I am dressing for revenge. I'm not sure, but I thought it made sense because these two songs are part of the Eras Tour lineup, or at least they were the night that they filmed the concert for the movie. I am putting in 2 habit trackers this week, so one for Clover's meds and then one for going outside, because for some reason I struggle with that, probably because I mostly have been working from home and spending time with my cats, like the weirdo that I am. So yeah, I wanted to start keeping track of that to basically force myself to at least step outside into the sun once a day. And then I put in my dinners sidebar. That giant pretzel from Friday night definitely made it on there. It was very good. It was $14. Okay, that's a lot. And then my husband keeps joking that he wants to learn how to make pretzels. And I'm like, I really don't want you playing with a lie. I really don't. Like, I love pretzels, but I don't think we need to make them at home. Even though it would be a million times cheaper. I worry about the lye water. I do. And then I'm going to put a half box in the sidebar and put in a cat from Beneva Creations. And I'm just going to write in some lyrics from Long Live by Taylor Swift, because I get really emotional about that song. And like the line about like, I have the time of my life fighting dragons with you is how I feel about Clover, my kitten, lately. Because, cats are little murder machines. And I think my cats would fight a dragon if it came down to it. So, and it's just a metaphor for our lives right now. We're fighting all sorts of stuff with Clover right now. So there's the cute little Beneva Creations cat, and we can go ahead and get into the day by day. Still have 20 more minutes to talk through. So we're gonna take a deep breath. I also need to do that lately because I've been very stressed. So the first thing I marked on Monday was our nephew's birthday. He's my husband's nephew technically, but like I'm married to my husband, so he's my nephew, right? Is that how that works? So I'm gonna use some balloons from the Prairie Planner. I've been loving these. They're so cute. So I just put in the 1 and the 3 for his birthday. And then Mondays are typically laundry day for me, so I'm going to put in an icon from an old Cinderella paper kit, as well as a laundry script from an old Cinderella paper kit. This is one of the ones that normally comes in her kits, but I had one in this color that was from an old kit, and it matched really well, the red, so I liked that. My nails do not match this red at all. Oh well. Then I worked out, so that is from Oh Hello Co. And then as you can see here, we've got an extender on Monday because I just had lots and lots of little things that I wanted to mark this week. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I did color block. And for these really bold colors, I thought that worked excellently. So the next thing I'm marking with an Alicia Craft icon is that I was grading my students' journals and like miscellaneous homework that is part of their grade. Since I teach what is like the equivalent of a first year writing class, like we're big on, I know a lot of people see it as like quote unquote busy work. I don't think it's busy work. I think it is always building towards a bigger assignment and giving people a chance to practice writing skills, because that's the whole point of my classes, and they get credit for it. So I think that helps. So I was grading all of those. It's always a headache at the end of the year though, because like, you know, I teach English, I don't teach math. It takes me a minute to do math. I always like quadruple check it before I input anything, and it always ends up being correct. It's just, it takes me a little bit longer than a lot of people to get there because I don't, you know, I'm not always practicing math. So anyway, then I was in rumination station this day. I was just ruminating on a lot of stuff. I don't even remember what, probably stuff with Clover. So I have a Beneva Creations girl for that. And then I was playing with Clover with her fox toy. So I have a sticker from Fox and Cactus for that. And then I fell down a Zillow rabbit hole, which I am prone to doing lately. We would love to buy a house, like at some point. We're not 100% sure what that point is. Obviously, we want to make sure that we're settled somewhere that we actually want to stay for longer than a couple of years, because we've been ping-ponging all over the state for the last decade. So anyway, I just fell down the Zillow rabbit hole this day. So you can imagine that the California real estate market is wild. So I just put in this, hello, I am trying my best, Munchkin from Once More with Love. Because let's put it this way, even with us making decent money, my husband and I, we both still work in public service, and I keep seeing things in the corner of my eye, sorry. And it's just hard out here. Stuff's expensive. It's ridiculous. So that's part of why we moved to Sacramento, is we at least have a chance in hell to buy a home. We would not have had that chance in Southern California. Moving on, I gave Clover her steroid that evening, so that sticker you saw was from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. We weighed her because we do that once a week, so I have a scale from Cinderella paper and an icon from Planet Hannah. I was watching Parks and Rec, so that the TVs you're going to see all week are from Beneva Creations. And then I had a good cry that night about Clover just because I was nervous about everything going on. Okay, now we're caught up. So for my birthday, I decided to go all out and use multiple stickers. So I have the 32 balloons from the Prairie Planner sheet, and then that cake is from Planet Hannah in that advent foil, and then I have the My Birthday script from the Planet Hannah holiday sheet. So, you know, it's a little clunky up here, but I wanted to use all of these things, and I decided to put it above the full box on Tuesday because I wanted to have breathing room to actually see the underlay that I decided to put down. That might be intended to be an overlay, but I liked it as an underlay. So there you go. Also, Clover was 13 months old this day, so I'm going to mark that with a Beneva Creations cat. I am keeping track of her months still, probably up until either she's 18 months or 2 years old, because I am pretty sure she is still growing, and she is in full teenage rage right now, so maybe she'll channel that into growing into a bigger cat. And then the next thing I'm going to mark is that my husband's cousin's kid was born, so I never get to use baby stickers. I have these from Wonton and a Million from a sticker sheet, or a sticker book, I should say, from Michael's. So I thought it would be fun to bring one in here. Like I said, we didn't find out about the birth until a few days later, but I just think it's really funny that the kid has my birthday. Then I was just chilling with the cats this day, so that is from Beneva Creations. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I watched both the Eras Tour movie and the folklore documentary or live album playing, whatever you want to call it, on Disney Plus. So I have these Disney Plus icons from, actually don't know where they're from. I think someone gave them to me. So that's that. I don't always mark pulling stickers anymore because it was just taking up way too much space in my planner, but this day I just kind of treated myself to doing whatever I wanted to do since it was my birthday. So I am going to mark pulling stickers for a plan with me with this icon from Sweet Ava's paper. And then I'm going to use this Celebrate Munchkin from the Once More with Love holiday sheet to mark getting a card and champagne. And then the end of the night was watching Parks and Recreation. As of this voiceover, I have finished the whole series again. It took me about a month. I think this Monday, the 13th, was when I started my rewatch. I like to do an annual rewatch of that show because it's definitely my comfort rewatch. So it took me about a month to get through the whole series. Wednesday, Clover had the zoomies, so I had to play with her because she was wreaking havoc upon the town. So I'm going to have a cat from Beneva Creations to mark that. And then I did another little workout, so I have 2 things from Cinderella paper to mark that. Then I held my Zoom office hour, so I'm going to have a little laptop icon from Alicia Craft. And then I cuddled Clover on the couch, probably while doing my Zoom office hour, because that's the benefit of teaching a hybrid class, is I get to do a little bit of work from home. Next semester, I'm scheduled to teach, I think, fully in person. So I honestly prefer that because the hybrid class, where it's like supposed to be half online, half in person, was, I think, confusing for students. So I think things should either be fully in person or fully online. Hybrid worked for me when I was in college for a couple classes. The only classes I took that were hybrid were Spanish. So it was like there was a lot of homework online to like learn the grammar and stuff. And then we came in for like 2 hours on Fridays to actually speak and do activities in class. So I feel like it works for a 5-unit language class. It's confusing for a 3-unit English class. Then I gave Clover her steroid. I was watching a lot of After Midnight, and I slept in the office with Clover. So that last sticker at the end of Wednesday was from Once More with Love, the little cat sleeping on the laptop. Thursday, the first thing I'm going to mark is that it will be 6 months until we go to New Zealand. I think we just passed 5 months till we go to New Zealand. Like I've mentioned before, like a million times, it doesn't really feel like this trip is happening, but it kind of has to now, because we're definitely not going to get our money back at this point. So we got to go. So I'm going to mark that with a plain from Cinderella paper. My husband was working from home, so I'm using a map sticker to mark that because that's part of his job. And then I wanted to mark that it was 10 years ago this day that my husband and I graduated from college together. What? Kind of in denial about that. That means it's been 14 years since I graduated from high school, which I don't want to deal with. I don't miss my high school experience at all, especially because I was homeschooled. But yeah, so it's been 10 years since college ended for us. Yikes, that sticker's from Oh Loco. I meant to film a throwback plan with me for the week of my graduation because I didn't decoratively plan back then, but I do have a planner from that time, and I can kind of give you a rough idea of what happened that week. I just have not had the time yet. I might still do it. It feels slightly not seasonal anymore, but I'll figure it out. Then I was looking for work, so I have a resume sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., and then I was editing a bunch of YouTube videos, so I have an icon from Alicia Craft. I marked that Clover, her ID tag arrived this day, so I'm going to mark that with a cat icon from Planet Hannah. And then I was having stomach issues this day. I don't really know why, but I did. So I have a nausea sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., and then finally, you guessed it, I watched more Parks and Recreation. Then at the top of Friday, I'm going to mark that week 12 of Clover's treatment was complete. So that's 24 total weeks of treatment for our little kitten princess. I'm going to mark that with a pill from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I'm like checking what week it was there. Then I will mark that it will be 3 months until we go see Billy Strings. Now it's 2 months. I keep thinking I'm going to get ahead in my planner, or like caught up in my planner, and I never do. But you know what? It's fine, because then that just leaves more weeks for me to play with stickers when I'm feeling bored. My husband worked from home again this day, and then we got happy mail this day. Like, I love when mail are things that are not bills. So we got a wedding invitation to my husband's friend's wedding in August, and then I got a birthday card from my former Girl Scout leader slash friend slash mentor, all those types of things. She really likes making cards, so I get beautiful cards from her for my birthday, and I've gotten them for like graduations in the past. We got one for our wedding, of course. Like, she loves doing that type of stuff, so that was cute to get multiple happy mail items, just like, you know, fun stationery from people. Then I did have to grade this day because, like I mentioned, my students were turning in everything that was final at the end of Thursday. I gave them until the very, very end of finals week, which worked out for all of us, I think. So this day I needed to grade their final projects, and then I also have them do a final reflection on their writing process, what projects went well, what projects didn't go so well, what felt comfortable, what felt like something they hadn't done before, whatever. I leave it pretty open-ended as long as they talk about writing to some extent. So I graded all of those this day. I just wanted to crank them out. I did more than I thought I was going to get done this day, which was good because I got home the next week from taking Clover to the vet way later than I thought I was going to. So it's a good thing that I was proactive this day. Then we gave Clover dose 13 of her immunostimulant, which was the last one, of course. And she also got her steroid this evening. So these 2 stickers are going to be from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I like to use my X-Acto knife to reposition stickers, by the way, if you haven't noticed that already. Then at the end of the day, we went to the brewery for a date night. So I'm going to use a beer stein from Beneva Creations as well as a date night script from Cinderella paper, and then I'll write the name of the restaurant above that. Came home, watched more Parks and Recreation. It had been a long, short week. I don't know. It hadn't really been a long week. It's just, I don't know. I don't see my husband Monday through Wednesday much because he's at work, obviously. And then Thursday, Friday, just because he's working from home doesn't mean like we're hanging out. Like he's working, I'm working, that sort of thing. So that's why Friday nights are important to us, so we can actually talk to each other about stuff that's not work related. And then I slept in the office with Clover again this evening. And I think this was the last week where we had to do that. No, the next week we did that as well. And then we started integrating all 2 of our cats into the same room. It's been going well, and also sometimes they still piss each other off, so I don't know. Saturday, first thing I'm going to mark is just paying off my credit card. Not the most interesting thing, but I had space on Saturday, so we did that. I was awake from 5 to 7 a.m. Was anxious because of Clover, but then also because that moron from the Chiefs gave that commencement speech. If you're not aware, you can Google it. Long story short about my opinion of this, if you want to stay at home with your kids, and if that is like, you consider that your crowning achievement, I think that's great. That's wonderful. I am not against you. However, especially when men are trying to tell me that my sole purpose in life is to do that, and that will be the best thing I ever do. Yeah, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that at all. I think, again, if that is the most important thing in your life, and that is what you want from your life, I think that is wonderful. Doesn't resonate with me, though. So that speech really pissed me off and made me anxious because there are lots of people in this country who think that they should be able to tell me what to do with my life. Don't love that for me. Okay, get off my soapbox now. So I marked that with a grumpy girl from Beneva Creations because it was stressful for me. Then I was packing, so I used a cat carrier from Plan With Me stickers for that because mostly I was packing stuff for Clover. And then I was cuddling Clover, speaking of the devil. No, she's an angel and a devil all at the same time. I was cuddling her on the couch, so that's from Beneva Creations. And then I just wrote big sad in my planner. And I think it was just, I was stressed out about, I had to travel alone this time because I'm a strong, independent woman. I am, but like my husband had a really important meeting on Monday, so he couldn't go with me this time. And Monday the 20th was like the only day that the vet could meet this time around. So I kind of had to go that day. But yeah, I was stressed about traveling alone because the last 2 trips I had gone with my husband. The last time I traveled alone, some guy in a big truck with massive road rage, like, had it out for me. So that I was just worried. We got through it. It was actually not that bad. But yeah, I was just sad on Saturday night. So I watched more Parks and Recreation. Sunday, first thing I marked was just being really anxious with Beneva Creations girl. I had to send well, I didn't have to, but I thought it would be a good idea to send an updated video of Clover walking to her doctor. I sent it this day because I didn't know how reliable the internet was going to be once I was traveling. So I'm going to mark that with a camera from Plan With Me stickers. And then I'm going to write in Gabby with this pill bottle from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Clover gets gabapentin, just a little bit of a helper before flights and before vet appointments nowadays. We switched over finally like a couple months ago to the pill form instead of the liquid form because the liquid form did not seem to be working. So we switched to the pill form, the capsule form, and it seems to actually calm her down. Like, she doesn't get zonked out, but like, she just seems a little less on edge. So we love that for her. Then I marked the flight. I was supposed to fly out at like 6, and then for some reason the flight got delayed for like an hour, which is not the worst, but I did end up getting there a lot later than I thought I was going to. So I layered a passport icon from Plan With Me stickers, and the plane is from Planahanna. Then on the plane, I was using the Southwest Fly-Fi or whatever they call it to watch Parks and Rec and The Office. So I have this really old sticker sheet from Oh Hello Co. back when they drew the Office characters. So I have a little Dwight because his mustard shirt matches this spread really well. So he never looks this happy on the show, like ever, but there he is. I think that's really cute. And then I marked the turbulence with that Beneva Creations girl. It was like when we were like maybe 45 minutes outside of Denver, it started feeling like we were almost like falling out of the sky. And the woman next to me and I, actually everyone in my row, were just like we hadn't talked to each other the entire flight, but we were kind of comrades in like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Like, I fly pretty well, but that was like the worst turbulence I've experienced in a while. So I felt really bad for Clover, because I was already anxious about her going through all this like stress and then going off of medication, but we all got through it. Then I went to Hertz to get my rental car, so I'm going to mark that with a Plan With Me stickers car. I did this thing this time where you can like check in advance, so I didn't actually have to go to the counter. I could just go straight to the car, which was actually really nice. At Hertz, at least at the Denver airport, I love the staff there. They're very helpful, they're very prompt, they're great. But because I was getting there so late, I didn't get there until I think like 9 or 10 local time. So it was nice to just go right to the car. Then I went to the hotel, so I just used a house icon from Oh Hello Co. to mark that. I gave Clover her last steroid pill, and then I was just watching After Midnight on my phone, so I have a laughing munchkin from Once More With Love. So that is everything for this week. I absolutely love how this turned out. I only have a couple full boxes left since I did so many extenders, but that's okay with me. I still got what I wanted out of this kit for sure, and that's what's left over of the foil at this point. I had a very chill birthday week, except for the end of it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about my week. Let me know what you are up to this week down below, and I will talk to you next time. I'm going to try to do like one more wiggle to show off all of like the confetti sparkly foil. But yeah, thanks so much. See you later. Bye.